Do those guys get paid for doing this? It's the James East. He's played with Eric Clapton and the Pips apparently. Brian Jordan, Dave Matthews Band, Lauryn Hill, Little Chris and the Night Crawlers at the bowling alley. And of course, Trace, Big Smooth, Sojourn. What's your last name again? Doesn't matter. Sorry, man. Sorry. Great to have you on. Big Biz Show. We got, well, me. Enough about me. What do you guys think about me?
Yeah.
Mike Costa. Every time I do that, I swear I feel like Cher. Mike Costa, Greg Todoroff, and Allison Ratslap.
You know what's an easier name for her? Allie Rat.
Allie Rat.
Allie Rat.
Oh, no, wait. Allie the Rat. Joey the Elbow. Mikey Bacon Donuts. Allie the Rat.
Not the, drop the. Just
Allie Rat. Like, drop the, like.
Allie Rat.
Like,
Allie Rat.
So that's like saying, you say I'm assistant manager.
I think it's my Twitter name.
But is that, you say your assistant manager was like assistant to the manager. So drop the. It's something different. Yeah. Great to have you on. When you met Benedict Ratslap, did you think about the name, like when you met him? What's your maiden name? Smith.
Biggs.
Biggs?
Should I have kept it?
Allie Biggs.
Okay.
Allie Biggs.
On the Big Biz Show?
No kidding. Allie
my
Biggs.
God.
All right. As we do every week, we have a finance reporter from Wall Street.
Yeah.
Who, very smart fellow, great hairline. He also suffers us every week. And I feel like when we talk to him, I sort of feel like he's like, yeah, I suppose I could do it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Exactly.
Howie Font. Good to see you. Howie.
We love Howie.
I talked to Howie a bunch yesterday about Tempest Therapeutics. Pretty amazing run. Howie, have you ever experienced a stock that went up 4,000% in your many years?
I think it set decade-long levels for a one-day increase, something like 40x. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, normally stocks that go up 4,000% are trading at 0.001 penny, and they're out of Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was significant because it was. It was because it was. Sorry, I've got a technical problem. It was done through the press release.
Yeah.
It wasn't done by any sort of manipulation. Howie, you and I have been talking about the jobs report for a couple of weeks, and that jobs report is confusing because you're getting a good jobs report, but it's not necessarily good for inflation. Why don't you take it away and talk to us about that?
Yeah, so looking at last month's job data and the last few months, actually, I think that there's a misconception that because the job numbers are good when you look at the top line numbers, that everything's healthy. And what we need to watch for in the next couple of months is signs of deterioration underneath the economy. So just like I've talked about, the top 7 stocks in the S&P 500 are doing great, but maybe not the other 493. We see in the jobs numbers, it's a lot of seasonal activity and it's a lot of government spending jobs, not only government sector jobs, but the Inflation Reduction Act, some of the Biden administration's key pieces of administration. It's something like $1.2 trillion into the economy in just a couple of years. It's a lot of stimulus.
So back in the day, in the mid-'90s, before, remember Y2K?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you buy backpacks with extra water? Mm-hmm. I know you did.
Why two? What? Sully?
Yeah, you're right. He wasn't even here. Mike bought himself one of those hoarder food packs.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if a company fired people, their stock would go up because suddenly their earnings would go up. It doesn't happen so much this time. It's sort of the same paradigm because a jobs number that is too good right now scares the Fed into thinking, here we go, we have more money to spend. We're trying to cool the economy. And by the way, we had a supply chain problem back in COVID. Now we have a demand side problem. We gave too much stimulus out, which every time that we have as a country pumped money in the system, going back to 1940, interest rates have fallen. Mm-hmm. Because guess what happens? We have so much money to spend. It's like, look, we should give a hand up versus a hand out. If this job number doesn't cool, Howie, are we seeing interest rates increases again?
We actually have another increase scheduled. I think the
November.
betting markets have it for, I don't think we're going to see a rate cut or a rate increase there. It's about a third chance, but we may see a slight pause and then another one in March or so.
Okay, so the big
still on the
consensus.
way up.
So the big consensus is that we're going to be out of this mess about this quarter, and that's when inflation hit its highest point in June. What's the betting man say right now? Are we with the end of 2024, middle of 2024? When do you start feeling like? I mean, I realize we're at probably 3% or 3.8 inflation now, but when do prices start coming down? When does it affect the local pocketbook?
Right. Well, if you asked me that 3 months ago, I would have given you a different answer than I'm going to give you now. And if you asked me 6 months ago, I would have given you a different answer than both of those.
What if you asked you 13 months ago? Okay. So what's the consensus with the Fed?
Right now, we see the first cut likely happening in next summer. 3 months ago, it was supposed to be the end of the year, and a year ago, we thought that we'd be cutting right now. Yeah. So it really is hard to determine. The Fed is playing a little bit of a game of dice here with the economy.
But I think look in comparison to back in Jimmy Carter's era when we saw rapid inflation, gas lines, and I think mortgages were like 17%. There was not a soft landing. We went into recession. I believe what they're doing actually is working. It's taking longer, but remember, we shut off the economy like a light switch.
Yes.
We're turning it back on like a sunrise, and that's the recovery is going to be that way. My concern is the long bond, because the long bond affects what? Mortgage rates, because we have the possibility of a housing bubble, because right now supply's tight because nobody wants to sell out of their house because if you move, what's your mortgage rate going to be?
Right.
Right. It's not just a function. Heck, it makes my value is going up. I can sell. However, whatever you buy next, you're going to get killed in the mortgage rate.
Oh, crushed.
All right. Hey, Howie, what's the next? Right. So is the before let's get out of here, is the next Fed increase in November? And what the percentage when you and I talked 5 weeks ago was 90%. Then went to 50. What's the percentage likelihood right now?
We're now at a third chance of it happening, so it's pretty unlikely when the probability goes down that fast.
I'll tell you what. And by the way, the market has already baked this into the market. Could you imagine if the Fed does something different? It's either going to cave or it's going to drive the market up. Howie, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Howie Font from New York. And of course, suffering us with every question that we ask.
Greatest hair on TV.
Wow, good hair.
So jealous.
Said the guy with the best hair on this. Did you notice?
Good hair.
Oh, yeah.
He does. He has good
You know what?
Todorov has no room to talk. That is beautiful hair.
Oh, now all of a sudden, let's hate on the guy that has the good hair.
But I think you're trying to copy his.
Well, yeah, those were the days we was in Cub Scouts. You know?
Looks like you're trying to do a version of it. Like, I don't know if it's working.
Did you say none of it's working?
Great, I love it. I love it.
Wow. Let's review some things that Costa said today. Greg's hairline. Sully's treasure trail.
Alien mother.
What was the other one? What was the other one? We had a band name today.